And we are live. I'm just gonna wait a second, see if a few people are coming through. So yeah, again, I appreciate all you guys for joining. We're just gonna be talking about leak culture today, and then some of the recent leaks that have come out in the past 2 weeks or so. Tech has been like actually kind of fun again recently. It's been a huge like dry spell since I'd say the Ultra came out. Like after that, like nothing's happened at all except for maybe like the OnePlus 10 Pro, but no one really got that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, not even me who worked with OnePlus twice already, so
yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, just gonna wait for some comments and then we'll get going. What did everyone have for dinner today?
It's 11 a.m. So
oh yeah, I forgot. You're in a different time zone. So are you thinking about lunch soon?
Of course,
yeah, Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, got you.
Every time.
I don't blame you.
You
guys have Chick-fil-A?
No, we don't have Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's crazy.
Man, Chick-fil-A all right, bro.
It's not all bad. It's just the service that gets you.
It is. I don't think I've ever waited longer than 5 minutes for a Chick-fil-A meal.
Never that.
I just
made is it true that they close on Sundays though? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I ever go for some reason. I'm like, I go to the store. I'm like, oh damn, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
That's
I had made some baked chicken, collard greens, and baked beans. That's what I'm.
That sounds like good.
That's some soul food right there. That sounds good.
Yeah, I cook, bro. I don't eat out a lot.
Collard greens is so long.
So good.
Yeah, I just had some like a week ago.
I had a breakfast chorizo like burrito. So like some chorizo, some eggs, cheese. Nice one.
Oh, that sounds good too, though.
It was good. I was trying to cook it right before. I'm like, let me get this quick.
Thanks.
Okay.
Also, it's nice to meet you, Travis. I don't think we've met before, but it's nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's always good having people that haven't met each other like all in the same space sometimes. Yeah.
This is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Travis, we went that one time about the Pixel 6 Pro with the whole Best Buy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite the scoop.
The times. Now, your video's been great, though, lately. They've been super interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But
yeah, that's what I like
super
about
interesting, but like and super underrated at the same time. Like not many people people have to see those videos, like especially the switching ones. Like those are like so interesting. I don't like the average consumer sees things.
It's funny because Dana was just asking me about that, so I have to edit the next one that'll be out this weekend. And they're actually I like them a lot, but I hate editing them because you don't have a lot of control over it. So as creators, like we shoot everything, so we know what we're getting.
Right.
I have no idea what I'm getting. I get, maybe 2 or 3 hours worth of content from someone who shot it themselves. And then I've got to go through it and go, is this 30 minutes I'm about to watch worth my time? And I have no idea before I start. So I like aspects of it, like not knowing what's going to happen. But man, the edit is just, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I was just talking to, I think it was Patar. I really like the videos in which people like actually, they don't record everything at one time. You could tell like, you're recording at like different parts, so you can tell it's like a timeline basically. And when you experience something, you're able to like record it at that moment. I think that's just like a lot more engaging for people, honestly.
Yeah, this next one is 2 weeks. He had the S22 Ultra for 2 weeks. So yeah, and he took it to like Disneyland and stuff. So I've got all types of stuff I need to look through.
That's gonna be awesome.
That's a lot of content right there.
A lot of content. Yeah. I'm kind of scared because like he's a really verbose. So with the other ones, if you guys have seen them, they're always people who aren't like tech heads.
Yeah,
all, like, they don't know anything. This is the first like tech head, like a guy who's in the comment section on YouTube. It's like one of those guys. So he's gonna have a lot to say. Good, which is great. I mean, that gives me a lot to work with. But man, as someone who doesn't like to edit a lot of stuff, it's brutal, man. I'm like,
So you think you're gonna have to chop it down a lot, like
it's
substantially?
Gonna be long. That's the thing. Yeah. So I get some people say, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys who've actually watched them think. Sure, minus the last one, which was only like 20 something minutes. Like they end up being around 30 minutes, which I try to avoid. I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid it this time, just from the amount of like content. I'm guessing, right? Like I don't really know. But I really, really, really try to keep it reasonable. And I've had some people tell me after the fact, not anyone in comments. These are like other creators that I know. Like, oh, you should try to cut it down a little bit. It's a little long, and I'm like, it doesn't feel long when I watch it, but it's my own thing. Did you guys feel like, you can be 100% like honest because it's important for me to get this right. What do you think about the length? So the last one was the shortest one, and then the other one, like the very first one, was one of the longer ones. Do you guys
look? I honestly think they should be like as long as they need to be, like 25.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I feel like the only issue for most people is just literally like time. In terms, like the content is like super engaging. It's not an issue like in terms of like the quantity of how many things you put into a video. Is literally like just the time, setting apart time to actually like listen to something or watch something. I think that's the major thing. I don't think it's like a actual like content issue at all. Yeah, I don't think it's too long because like you keep it engaging. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the longer the video, the better, actually, because the more information we can receive. And
it's more like a documentary, though, is it? It's not like in most YouTube videos. Like, it's very in-depth. Like, I think it's important to have the time to get to know the person and, like, how they use their device, because that's, like, the main... Like, that's basically what drives the result of the video in the first place. And I think a build-up to that is crucial to get to that, like, payoff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great feedback. That's really good. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Very helpful. I jump into another edit.
Yeah. So we're just gonna hop into it. We're just gonna be talking about the leak culture today. So the first question I'm gonna ask is kind of a weird question. Do you guys see a place for it on YouTube? If not, I want to hear why, and if so, I want to see why, because it got really popular, I'd say like around 6 months, around like the Pixel time. The Pixel 6 Pro, like a lot of people were discouraging creators from creating content on that, just because it took away from people who would actually like get the device later on. So do you guys see like that as a negative thing, like leak content? Do you see that as like a negative thing or a positive thing on YouTube, I'll say?
I mean, I personally think if a company does it right by planting certain things and what they want people to see, it can help a lot. It's just there's a certain point that you can't give up too much information, and then it ruins the whole feel of the launch of itself. Like I mean, OnePlus didn't really leak the OnePlus 10 Pro, but their whole launch situation kind of ruined all the hype of anything happening for the US launch compared to like the China launch. So I think there's a point where companies need to realize there's only so much you should give away until it kind of ruins the whole hype factor of the product itself. So when it comes to launch, you already know everything.
I mean, like, there's like two sides to that coin, though, because the leak culture is dependent on the people who leak it and also like the way it's leaked. Because like if people keep like milking the same leak for like 6 months straight, that also starts to get tiring. It's just like all a matter of delivery. Because like, for example, John Prosser, the way he delivers his leaks are engaging and funny. I think like it has to be more of like an entertainment factor more than an information factor, like for most people, because like it has to be entertaining and it can't be like the same stuff milked over and over again just for like the sake of you know, here's content.
Yeah, I do tend to see that sometimes where they'll have the same information for 6 straight videos. I do think that's like pretty annoying. Personally, I don't see an issue with it. Like, I see why some people like are upset about it, but I think it's a great way to make content because it's engaging. Personally, what do you think about it, Delvon?
Well, personally, I don't really think that is a bad thing at all. The only people that care about these damn leaks are us in the first place. You know what I'm saying? That's true. We got to think outside the box, right? Because the average customer is not looking at what we're looking for. Like, they don't know a new watch is coming. They don't know when the new iPhones are even coming. They just know that they see the advertisement on TV, then they're going out there and they're buying it, right? So it really don't really matter. It's just to us. We're the ones we want to know and we don't want to know because we want to kind of be surprised. But at the same time, if you hear about it, you're going to go look for it. Oh, did y'all see the new Pixel Watch design? No. Google it. and that's us, you know. So I think that is not really I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, to be honest with you, because average consumers don't care.
I think also it just keeps people engaged no matter like what happens. Even if it's a bad leak, it's like, oh my goodness, this is about to come out. It's kind of like the old, I mean, this is the funny part, like the old Xbox 720. Everybody like, oh my god, what's happening right now? Even though those things were not even close to being factual, it kind of gave hype. Or like when we have kind of I'd say a dry spell in terms of tech content that we can make, it gives you something to talk about. But what I was saying before, it's like to a certain degree, I feel like companies should keep some things hidden or as well as they can, and just leak certain parts of the product beforehand, just so they have something to say at the launch.
Yeah. Trent's Tech is in here. He said leak culture was great until people calling rumor leaks or when there were the same render leaks every single day that ended up being completely wrong. Yeah, inaccurate leaks are definitely the worst by far. What do you think about?
That's like an occupational hazard for all leakers, though. So
yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. What do you think about leak culture in general, Travis? I know it's really interesting because I don't consider you a tech YouTuber, even though like your content is like really about tech, like just the way you like engage with people and you like make your content for like a normal person for the most part. So what do you think about the leak culture in regards to like tech YouTube?
Yeah, I mean it's like a bubble in a weird way because previous to the crazy amount of leaks that we get now, where we know just about every single thing before they hit the stage, which makes the presentation kind of boring. Events were awesome. They were cool. You never knew. You kind of had an idea of what was going to be, revealed, but you really didn't know 90% of what you were going to see.
Yeah.
Now you know so much of it. It's almost like going to the movies and knowing everything about the movie except for maybe one or two things, right?
Yeah.
But that's, again, for us, as was said earlier, like for the tech heads. I know for a fact that some companies actually engage in fake leaks. I believe that this Pixel Watch thing was a fake leak.
Definitely. Like that was too scripted.
Yeah. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but Google's been doing this sort of stuff the last couple of years where they fake leak things and stuff. So it's right up their alley. So I think if you can leverage it for free marketing, cool, awesome. But I think for some people, tech heads, people who watch, YouTube tech, it gets kind of old because then they don't really have any. It's like the iPhone 13 hadn't been announced and there was an iPhone 14 video out. It was a really strange, time last year. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really interesting.
And then when they get it wrong, then it's like, oh crap.
Yeah,
like we waited all this year for this thing that never happened.
Like the design of the Apple Watch.
Yep, exactly right. Or so
that was a hard one.
Or selling your MacBooks too early and like all those things. Like, if you're too hard into it, then, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the iPad one was a big one. A lot of people like ended up assuming that the iPad was gonna like support Final Cut Pro and like other big productivity apps just because it had the M1. Like we got the M1, they did nothing else.
That was a reasonable assumption though, because Apple's just doing the iPad real dirty right now. Like it's not pretty right now
sad.
For the iPad landscape.
It's the one thing that makes me not want to buy an iPad because I'm like, I have no justification for it.
Galen, what did I just tell you yesterday about
the iPad? Literally, he messaged me yesterday about the iPad. What? Yeah, you could tell us what you said, Devon.
I was telling him that I bought this iPad 12.9 just recently, and it's so underwhelming. It's crazy because I was telling him that I've been using iPad for so many years, loved it. I mainly did drawing and entertainment up there, reading, movies, and everything else. Right? Never really tried it for work, ever. Right? Samsung drops DeX, and they dropped the Galaxy S7 Plus and 7 and DeX and everything else, and I did a whole video on that. And I was like, wow, this thing is really. This is a really good tablet, right? The production work that you can get out of it, everything like that. It is missing some of those, good quality apps for like maybe photo editing. Well, I guess if you like Lightroom. But anyways, long story short, I was telling him that it felt so underwhelming because I wanted this iPad to do more at this point. I got a 12.9 inch screen, almost a laptop screen. All I'm doing is opening up apps. And then the keyboard experience is just, not the keyboard, but the mouse experience is just so much worse. Like Apple's implementation of the keyboard is just so bad. So I was just telling him, I was like, man, I love my Galaxy Tab S7 way more than this iPad right now. I'm currently drawing on it, though. Don't tell nobody.
Actually, I've got a quick question for you about that. With the mouse, what mouse are you using with your iPad? Because I've noticed that if I use an Apple mouse, it works fine, but if I use my MX Master, everything just goes to shit.
Yeah,
I can't use like a non-Apple mouse with my iPad.
Well, I don't use any Apple keyboards or mouse at all. I actually got it in the closet. I don't like it, but it's not really like the mouse is messing up or anything. It's just like the whole cursor thing. Like it's a circle, and then it goes to the next tab. Then it hovers over the icon and kind of disappears. I mean, I'm looking for it, right? Because I don't. It kind of like takes the icon and make it a little bit larger than the other ones. So it's just like I'm not seeing it sometimes. I'm like, where the hell my cursor go? And then when I'm using it with universal control, right? My fiance, she was in the bedroom, literally, and this universal control is pretty awesome, right? Because I got to give it to Apple for that. But I think there should be a limit because I'm in a whole different room. She's in a different room. I'm on the Mac, and then my mouse went off of my screen in the corner because I was editing the video and I couldn't find it. It was on her.
That happened to me like when I was setting up for the stream. That happened to me like exactly when I was setting the stream up. I was like listening to a podcast on my iPad and like my mouse just disappeared.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's crazy though is that we see that thing with Apple, and then Samsung comes out with their laptop 360, and like, oh, we also have the same thing now all of a sudden.
And Samsung's is good, just like Apple's. I don't have the Samsung laptop, but Galen does.
Yeah, I don't have a laptop as well.
Yeah, but my cousin had one, and then I took it to work, signed in my account, signed her out of her account, signed in my account because I have to sign in my Samsung account, and I used it with my Galaxy Tab, and it literally, once you turn it on the Galaxy Tab, it works just exactly the same. And you can actually drag like real files and everything over just like Apple and everything. It's pretty good. Like Samsung really be doing their homework, man. They be doing their homework.
All I said was before I made a tweet is like, I just want a Surface Go that runs Android. I just like the build quality of Microsoft Surface devices so much because I like Samsung's tablets, but I can't do their keyboards at all. I can't do them.
Trash.
It's like, how do y'all ruin the one thing that's the most important thing to text? I'm sorry, you guys. And they charge more than the Surface keyboard. I was like, please.
So do you guys see Apple making a big change in iPadOS 16 and iOS 16, like in regards to like productivity?
I don't even think we can say anything because we all said this for the past couple of years now.
But hopefully, like within my lifetime,
but I think
changes at least.
I feel like the S8 Ultra was a huge jump, though. It was a massive jump between like the S8 series and the S7 series, because like the S6 and the S7 were very like not really similar, but in terms of software, like everything was similar. Like Samsung is really like marketing their productivity software a lot more now with the S8 series, and a lot more people are noticing that. So do you think Apple like follows suit with things like maybe like a desktop mode or similar things in terms of productivity?
Well, I hope
wasn't there a leak about a pro mode like that Mark Gurman did like a week or two back? Wasn't that a thing, or am I pretending?
It is a leak about it. It's a leak.
Yeah,
we're talking about leaks. So there is a leak saying that it's supposed to be coming to the M1s. That's what the rumor is.
We all hope. I hope if they do that, I'll get it.
We always hope. What is that?
Yeah.
They're stubborn.
No kind of like actual like, oh yeah, they are gonna do it. I'll see when I see it. Like I'll believe when I see it.
And plus, I mean, Apple don't have a problem selling iPads. I don't even think like even right now with Samsung's Dex mode, it's not even competing with the iPad, in sales at that. But productivity and speed and everything else, it may. I mean, not really so more so speed, but y'all know what I'm saying.
I just hate
it can outshine it. Oh, you're good.
I just hate that they have the cheapest iPad running almost the same exact software as the Pro models.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell people ask me, what iPad should I get? I'm like, literally, I know you don't like spending money. Save the money, get the cheapest one. You're not doing anything that important. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have the same experience. I mean, you might have a bigger screen, but the same exact software. You're not doing any 4K, 8K editing on the iPad. You're going through Twitter and Chrome. Save your money. And they're like, oh no, I want to feel bougie. I'm just like, there's no reason. Like I'm telling you right now, save your $400 or $500 and just get the one with the home button.
That is true. That is true.
No, but the 120 hertz hits different.
They don't see it.
I mean, that's for us. That's for us again. That's for the geeks.
Yeah, that's for us.
That's for, a normal person won't see the difference.
I got an iPad. I got an iPhone 12 mini, right? And then I give my friend my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'm like, I'm gonna give it to you right now. Look at the phone. Can you tell me any difference that you like? I don't see any difference. I've never had a person say they see a difference.
They don't
ever, unless they're a tech nerd. But that then takes them still time to notice, unless they know the phone.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I say that, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Exactly. You don't care about it."
Yep.
Okay, what's up, BG Tech Life? Okay, so we're gonna hop into some of these leaks that have came out recently. Someone mentioned earlier the Pixel Watch, so we're gonna start with that. So
do we consider that a leak when Google set that up?
It's obvious.
Y'all think so?
How could they leave the watch there for weeks? Like no one came back to come get the watch.
and then somebody happened to, be an Android guy and know it's a Pixel watch and send it to Android Central, all of that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, and then don't forget, because one thing a lot of people haven't said anything about is that it's bricked. And the only way it could be bricked is if it's a cellular version of it, which I don't. Were they even rumored to be selling a cellular version?
I doubt it's gonna be.
So then think about that for a second.
Yeah,
someone had to deliberately brick it and then leave it there.
Exactly. That's my point. It was never going to. Why would you have a phone thing that no one, or a watch thing that no one knows about, that doesn't work? Take it to a bar and leave. That's BS. It's bricked so you can see the hardware, leak about it, talk about it, but not see the software because the software.
See the software, absolutely.
Yeah, and another weird thing is that the fact that someone randomly in a restaurant picked it up and was able to determine that it's a Pixel watch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that just doesn't.
And contacted the right people to leak it.
Right.
His friend that somehow knows about all this stuff goes on Reddit and does it. That just. Right.
Yeah, it's insane. So yeah, this was like the first render from front page tech John Prosser.
It was really close.
Yeah, it looks really close. The difference is it looks a lot thicker on the ones that they found in the restaurant or whatever.
That thickness means a bigger battery. I am all for it.
Yeah,
it also looks so comfy though with like the pebble
wrist.
design. It looks so comfy.
On the wrist, when you have the image on the wrist on 9 to 5, it looks really like comfortable. No. It just looks like it sits there.
Don't it look about the same thickness though as the Galaxy
Watch?
Watch?
That's what they said. They say it's the same thickness. And I think the Galaxy Watch, because I use the Apple Watch Series 7, right? And I go to the Galaxy Watch, I'm like, the Galaxy Watch feels so much nicer on the wrist. It just sits on it, and it looks like it's the same type of design.
Yeah.
Oh, so someone on Reddit now has it and put a band on it.
Yeah, I seen that.
The band.
Right.
So where was the band in the other picture?
I thought there was. There was one in the. I think there was one.
Well, there's one
at the
that's by
cafe or
itself.
whatever.
Again.
So what they said was that they shipped the watch by itself first, like the friend did, and they forgot to put the band in the box. I don't know.
Wow.
So that was the friend's photos prior to that, and the other ones were by the guy, they said, and I guess the bands finally came in.
They're going so deep on this, it's funny. Like with the whole like backstory.
It's ridiculous.
All I can say, it looks comfortable. And what do you guys think about the proprietary watch bands, though? Because those.
I'm mad about that.
I'm not liking that.
I buy a ton of different like wristbands. I have about like 10 pairs just for my Galaxy Watch, and that threw me all the way off when I saw that it had like the magnet clips or whatever it's gonna be.
Like at first I was like, that's fine because the Apple Watch has that, but then not many people are going to buy this as much as the Apple Watch. So
exactly. So it's not going to be a lot of third-party manufacturers making bands and everything. So you're going to have to come out a lot of money.
The only two things I do like about proprietary bands is that it's probably much more comfortable than the Galaxy Watch is comfortable, but the watch bands are just weird on how they even come stock. But I hope that allows for, if they are third-party bands, to just be higher quality rather than just buying some cheap 20 whatever. You remember, Ramal, you bought that one and it broke in like literally 5 minutes.
I made a video about it and then it broke like an hour later. So
I feel like it'll keep that premium feel and look when people have it on their wrists, which I feel Apple went for when they did the proprietary watch bands. But I think it looks super interesting from what we see now.
To be honest with you, I on my Apple Watches, I bought some cheap bands. I mean, they broke my screen and everything, so... that's really not a real reason to make it. I think that Google should follow Samsung and just, let us use any watch band. I don't see the harm in it. I really don't.
Well, I do have like one little thing, because like on the Galaxy Watch, notice how like the bands, like there's like a whole, like it juts out on either side. Notice that. The Google Watch doesn't do that. That's something I like about it.
Design. It reminds me of the Moto 360.
It looks a lot cleaner.
In Moto 360 first generation, when they had the
that's what it looks like
inside the body. It looks like a mix of that and the LG Watch Urbane. I think that's what it was called, or their last smartwatch. It looks
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I just hope the one thing, is that the screen itself, but I don't think it is going to be. There's going to be quite a large bezel around this watch that we saw from some of the images. Is that even though you can't turn it on, you can see the difference. That's one thing. I'm just like, if you're going to make the screen melt over the sides, I want it to be like the Apple Watch when it looks like it's melting over the sides or kind of very close. Because the one thing that I don't like about the Galaxy Watch 4 is that the bezel, even though it is a touch bezel, because the bezel's so large, I feel like it detracts from like it being new looking.
Yeah. But I think most people excuse that one because of the touch bezel.
Yeah, you have an excuse for it, but I doubt Google's going to do the touchpad.
Nah, it's going to look like that Moto 360. I have a feeling it's going to look like Moto 360.
I mean, I
still got that watch. You still got that watch.
I still have the Moto 360 second gen. It's in my drawer.
Oh my gosh, I used to love that watch though.
I wore it all the time.
Yeah, it's a great watch.
I just look at that. I'm like, even though it had a flat tire, the bezels look smaller on that.
Yeah, the flat tire.
That's what we see with this. So, I hope that's just because it's a smaller size and there's gonna be a larger size with a smaller bezel, but who knows?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be extremely clumsy with that because of like how far it looks like the screen protrudes, because of that curved screen. I feel like a lot of people are gonna scratch that thing up.
Well, hopefully they can use like a strong glass on the front. So.
It don't matter.
Man. I never messed up my Apple Watch, because on the Apple Watch is like all screen at the top too, just like
and it's weird. Like the Pixel Watch literally looks like a round Apple Watch, like for the most part.
It does. Just
like literally.
There we go.
Oh, he got it.
I literally got it. It still powers on too. Like it'll last a whole day somehow. Still, I don't know how.
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
The only thing that's wrong about it is that the vibration motor's always been super loud since I got it.
Oh yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Well, hopefully the haptics on the Pixel Watch are good because I'd say the Apple Watch has the best haptics so far that I felt on a smartwatch. I haven't tried the TicWatch. Like the Samsung, like the Galaxy Watch haptics just feel like literally a phone vibrating on my wrist, whereas the Apple Watch is like a tap. I hope it's the same thing with the Pixel Watch because, like, it's like the haptics on a watch. It's such a defining experience of a smartwatch because it's like a notifications bridge. So hopefully the haptics are really good.
Hey, it's charging.
I know. So I'm a weird guy when it comes to the watch haptic. I just want that to vibrate my wrist off so I can know I got notifications. I don't know. My experience. I don't really care, but if anything, I think Google will make it just as good as the Pixels because the Pixels haptics are really good this year, like really good.
The real question to you guys is that what will make you want to actually buy this watch? Like
we're tech people. What do you mean?
Yeah, right.
I mean, like,
you're gonna buy it.
I want to think. I wonder if they're just gonna slowly dissolve the Fitbit line and just make the Pixel line compatible with Apple.
I was just talking to someone about that. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Fitbit completely because Fitbit sells like crazy, like still. Just in terms of
kind of like
Garmin,
the AirPods versus Beats thing.
I feel like Fitbit is like in a different category between like the Apple Watch and Galaxy Watch and all that. Like the Fitbit is competing with like Garmin and those brands, and Garmin is so freaking expensive that Fitbit is competitive there.
Yeah, and regular smartwatches won't be able to fit. I mean, the battery. They won't be able to compete with the battery.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So, no, I think about it because we saw one of the leaked images from it with a watch face. It had the Fitbit logo on the watch face.
Oh, I think they're going to merge it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to merge the software.
I don't think they're going to replace it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just saying this from what I've seen. The Google website doesn't say Fitbit anymore. It just says watches on there. So I'm like, are they about to just like make this the premium Fitbit at the top and get rid of?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if they do that.
One there?
Well, I mean, it could be because that thing is thick, so it might. If that battery is big and it can last, then I don't see the reason why not. I don't see the reason because I mean, that would be the only thing holding up is the battery life. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure the fitness features are going.
What do you guys think about the price though? What price do you think they're going to launch it at?
$350.
Oh, $250. Oh, is it stainless?
It's not going to be $250. I say $350.
Is that stainless steel?
I will buy that any price, to be honest with you. I'm so sorry. I just need a Pixel watch to go with my Pixel phone, man. So the first watch I'm going to buy, the other one I might be like, I don't know, the price too high. But the first one I got to get. It just.
I mean, all I could say is it looks really good, to say the least. I think it looks a lot more refined than most watches. I just hope the software and the battery life is there. And knowing that they bought Fitbit, I'm guessing the fitness tracking is going to be fairly good as well. Yeah. Because, I mean, I like the way the whole back is glass. I had a TicWatch. I didn't like the way it fell on my wrist because it wasn't all glass. It was the plastic was irritating. So I hope they're able to pull it out. And I don't know. I hope. I don't know. It's just like I've never thought about Google really coming out with a watch and seeing a lot of Android Wear watches nowadays. I'm like not excited by them as much as
I'm curious to see what the software experience is going to be like. If it's going to be like material.
I think it's going to be very like material UIs. I think they're going to go like really hard with widgets and things because that's one of the things they highlighted a lot at Google I/O last year. That's when they released Wear OS 3. They were like advertising like the widgets and the little cards like crazy. So I think it's gonna be very widget based.
Because if the software on the watch is as smooth as the software on the Pixel, like I'm sold. Like
and do you guys think it will come with Tensor eventually or no?
They're gonna brand whatever chip in there is as Tensor, I bet you, no matter what chip it is.
It just might come out with Tensor. We don't know that, but I'm just hoping that the integration of Google Assistant is really good because
you mean the watch or like the watch with the Tensor chip? Really?
Yeah. I could see Google trying to go all out just like Apple. I could see them trying to do that with their.
You mean like a lower spec version of the Tensor chip, not like the chip that's in the phone?
Yeah. Not the one in the phone. Just a watch version for it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I still love the way this thing looks. Like,
that is. Hey man, that's still a sexy watch.
It's clean. It's a clean watch. I feel like the only watch that looks as good as that is the Fossil watches.
Yeah.
Fossil.
But they suck. So
yeah. Fossil.
So yeah, let me catch up to some of these comments. Stan said he has so many watch bands for the Galaxy Watch that he can't use now. Trust me, I get that 100%.
I had about 32 for my Galaxy Watch
Active,
and I got the 4 Classic, and I couldn't use none of them. So
that's crazy.
I got my old Gear Sport here, so works too.
Wow.
Yeah, Brian said he never bought an Apple Watch band from Apple. I don't blame him.
I have some from Nomad. That's one of the other ones I have.
Yeah, I remember these. Those designer-made watches looked really good. I remember those.
I'm gonna be honest with you. On my Apple Watches, I just get the sports band, and I never ever buy another band. I don't change it or anything.
I like the sports band a lot.
Yeah, Apple. Just for me, Apple Watches are not stylish. I guess if they feel more like workout watches to me, the way the design is. So I don't really care to like try to fancy up the watch with bands. But the Galaxy watches, I'd be trying to make them look like real watches. So people are like, "Oh, that's a nice watch," and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's a smartwatch, man."
I don't even get how this thing works so smoothly. Still,
I don't know.
Okay, Trent says he just wants the battery life to be better than 36 hours on his Apple Watch. I still think that's crazy how that's crazy how that's still
that blows my mind because this Moto 360 second gen, when I had it brand new, it would last that long, and it had an LCD display and all that, and it was doing. And I'm like, why hasn't it improved more as we thought it would over the years? I mean, we have a reason why.
Because they're putting more software that's running in the watches. More
they're not putting bigger batteries in it.
And the battery's not getting bigger.
I just like think about it though. It's like I was like when my Galaxy Watch 3, I think, right? That's what I get mixed up with the names. When I turn off always on display, it lasts 2 days easily, even like 2.5, 3 days. As soon as I turn that always on display on, though, I could just see the battery dropping whenever I just like went back to it every like hour or two. I'm like, dang, like the difference is so drastic. I was only getting 36 hours of battery life around there, like my Apple Watch, and I was so surprised by it because. Ramal was like, "Oh, I want to get this much." I was like, "Oh, I don't use always on display." And as soon as I did, I got the same battery.
No, but like you need to use the always on display on this watch because
it's a watch.
So good. Like, it's a watch. Like you gotta have it. Like the watch without it always on display isn't a watch. Like don't even talk to me about it. Like go ahead.
Exactly. And like they had a watch out here that I seen online that a YouTuber had talked about where the body heat. No, Mr. Mobile, right? It was a Mr. Mobile video where the body heat keeps the watch charged the whole entire time.
That's interesting.
Why aren't they adding that technology in these smartwatches or the one
or solar powered or something?
Yeah, there's another watch. I think Jarman, you should know, Galen, but there's a watch with solar power on the band, so it charges it all day long.
I think we saw like those from like I think it was Apple Watch because I think the Apple Watch has a little actually like a power. I don't know if it has like a little actual like part right where you put the Apple Watch band. There's actually something. There's a slot or something like that can connect.
I don't think it has it anymore. Like it used.
I don't think it has it. I think it used to have it. Yeah. And you used to see all.
That was more for like diagnostic things though.
Yeah, they had like concepts with stuff like that. And I remember things regarding that.
Yeah.
Like, I would like a smartwatch where it like kind of charges with like kinetic energy. Like you know how some watches charge when you like just move them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the watch.
That would be really cool.
That's the one that Mr. Mobile did. It charges with your body. Well, yeah. I mean, the more you move and everything like that, it just keeps the watch charged. You take it off, then the watch will start dying. Not like instantly, but it'll start. The battery will start being used. As long as you're wearing the watch, it stays charged.
Those types of like secondary charging methods don't have to be the primary method. It's just an extra like bit of battery life when you actually have the watch on. It doesn't have to be like the only way to charge the watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Stan also said Fitbit integration, and he misses Wear OS. I'm a big fan of Wear OS. A lot of people hate it, Wear OS, but I love it still.
I think it's fine. I think
this is actually my second Wear OS watch right here. Because I've been with Apple, and then I had was it Tensor? No, not Tensor. What was Tyson? Tyson. Oh my god, I had Tizen, man, because I had Galaxy watches, and I really didn't like Tizen. I'll be honest with you.
I think the Galaxy Watch 4 is the first time I used a Samsung watch. I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel that bad actually, like using from day to day.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I had it on this one with Tizen. Like, I had it on the Gear. I didn't like using it. Like, after I switched from the Moto 360 2nd gen to the Gear Sport, I'm like, yeah, and they had like no apps. I'm like, I'm not gonna be using this anymore. And it sat in my drawer after like using it for like less than a year. Then of course I couldn't sell for more than like $30.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of smartwatches, so there have been some leaks that Samsung is gonna ditch the Classic and just do a regular Galaxy Watch 5 in 2 sizes, and then the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, which will have a bigger battery and probably a bigger screen as well. How do you guys feel about that one? Is the rotating bezel something that you guys like absolutely need on a smartwatch?
Yeah, I mean, on the Galaxy Watch, like it's one of the most like Samsung shouldn't remove like the best like visual and like practical feature on their Pro Classic watch, whatever they decide to call it. Like, it's one of the things that makes it look so good. Like, it looks like an actual watch because of that like raised rotating bezel.
Personally, I'm gonna take a different stance on this. I don't like the rotating bezel. Like, I like it, but I don't.
Well, that's the wrong opinion. You're not allowed to have that opinion.
I only don't really like it because whenever the watch would vibrate, that would vibrate the bezel and it would create like a louder sound. That like that was for me.
Really?
Yeah, compared to the Galaxy, like when I had my Gear Sport, I don't know if it's as bad as it used to be. That's why I didn't like it. Is that every time it vibrates, you can hear the like a slight buzz to it.
I think that's like one of the reasons why I don't really like the vibration.
Because Ramal was saying that like, oh, I don't like it. It's like it doesn't feel like it. I'm like, on my Galaxy Watch 4, it feels fine to me. And then he's like, I'm like,
but the bezel has to stay. Honestly, like the bezel is. I don't have to touch the screen to do half the things I do with the smartwatch because of the bezel. Like, it's like the same thing with the rotating crown on the Apple Watch. Like, I don't want to touch the screen on my watch because the screen's already small enough as it is.
You know why I say this though? It's because TicWatch used to have a little tickle pad thing they used to call on the side of the watch, and I feel like it's the same thing almost as what they have on Galaxy Watch 4. And I think it's actually, if you guys remember that, it was like a little touchpad on the side of the watch itself, and you would just slide your finger across, and it would move to the OS just like the Galaxy Watch does. And I feel that Samsung themselves, the classic watch looks like the same watch it has been for the past like 4 or 5 years.
I mean, it's a classic.
I know, but I'm like, at the same time, I kind of want to see something else from a watch that costs $400 something. And now I say about Apple Watch, but I feel like the Galaxy Watch has literally stayed exactly the same in terms of its looks.
Are you a smartwatch guy, Travis? I'm kind of curious.
So I was doing smartwatches back when Sony had like one of the only ones out.
The square one.
I had that one too.
I remember that one. That was that got me interested in it.
It was the same time that the Pebble came out, right around then. So that was
the Pebble
too. I remember that.
R.I.P.
So yeah, I mean, I've tried to always have just for no other reason for notifications. And I will say that when I stopped having to leave the house so much, I didn't really wear my watch as much until recently. With some different things with my health, I started using the Apple Watch, and some of the health things that come with it now are really fantastic. And from what I understand, a lot of that stuff is now going to even inexpensive smartwatches on the Android side of things, and not even Samsung, like just other brands, which is great.
Just like I'm wearing an Amazfit watch now, and it has most of the features.
That's what I heard. And I think that's really important. I think I'll always have a smartwatch in some way, but I mean, I think at some point you also have to figure like which ones are selling, and if you're Samsung, and my guess is this is all based on sales. They're not just getting rid of one just because they want to do something different. It's because that one wasn't selling. Because if it was selling, they would make another one. It's just the way it is. So I think whatever they do makes the most sense for them. I definitely wouldn't get rid of I think the rotating crown is really cool on that. The rotating face part is really cool. But I don't know. Like I think one of the best looking watches was like the 3. What what was it? I forget what it was called. It was like the special kind of ruggeder version of the Galaxy.
Frontier.
Yeah. The Frontier. That was
the S3 Frontier. Yep.
Looked great. Like when it came out, I was like, "Holy crap, that's the watch I want." So as long as they're continuing to do that and differentiating themselves, I think it's still pretty dope.
I just thought about it for a second. I mean, I was like, oh, what was the one that Samsung made that looked just like a Fitbit? It was a Galaxy Fit 2. Forgot they got rid of that. Same exact type of watch band. Oh no, the Fitbit. No, very close. So I feel like would have been a nice like cheap thing they still made, but not anymore. So
I think they just made one like last year. Actually, I don't know what it was called, but they made one like very recently because it was competing with the Xiaomi Mi Band, which is extremely popular like internationally. I bought the Mi Band 6, and it's honestly like that's something I would suggest like for most people because it's only like $50 and it does like all of the major health features. It just doesn't have inbuilt GPS, but it has like literally everything else you want: notifications, blood oxygen level tracking, heartbeat tracking, step tracking, all of that.
Didn't Microsoft make like watches as well? Like with this,
I was gonna make a video about that, about like tech that just disappeared that everybody forgot about. They made 2 versions of that one.
Okay.
I mean, you know what's always crazy is that I forgot the exact name of the old Samsung watch. Was the one that literally wrapped around your wrist with a screen.
I have that. I still have it.
One?
Yeah,
I saw one in person. I was like, oh my goodness, someone was like still wearing it to this day. I was like, wow.
I don't even. The worst thing about that, I loved the way it looked, especially at the time. But the worst thing about it was the charger. Over time would stop working because of the way it connected to the actual watch.
Okay.
The plastic would loosen up, so it could never make a connection. So you have to buy this little plastic puck over and over and over again.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. I mean, it was cool because one of the first like where you have like glass wrapped and you're like, oh, this thing's kind of cool. And it was, it was right around the time when they stopped putting cameras in smartwatches. Do you remember that? They used to have cameras in smartwatches. It seems now
2 cameras and stuff.
Yeah, it was weird. Like now you're thinking why, but back then it was like, yeah, man, I can take pictures that are terrible with my watch.
That's so weird. Yeah,
literally was hit up
Nintendo DS quality pics on your smartwatch. That's great.
How many? Quick question. How many of you guys like actually like talk on the phone using your watch?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you do.
Time.
Yeah,
Okay,
just for like
just
short calls.
curious.
Not for like long calls, but like short ones.
No, it has to be short because then your arm starts getting tired holding it up to your face the entire time.
I mean, like I just keep using my watch like I normally do. I don't hold it up when I'm talking on the watch. I just like use it. The other person doesn't really notice.
I pretty much never really do it because I always got my buds connected to my watch, and And I mean, I got the LTE model, so sometimes I'll leave at the house without my phone if I'm going to the store real quick, and I just take my Galaxy Buds with me, and then that's it. I mean, it's rare when I'm in the shower. Sometimes, when I'm about to get in the shower and somebody call me because I actually shower my watch. I know I'm weird. Somebody called me right before I get in. I'll be like, "Hey, man, I'm in the shower. I'll call you back later," and then I hang up and then I get in the shower.
So would you guys want a Pixel Watch to have a 4G LTE version, or would you even care about that?
I need LTE.
I wouldn't care personally. No, I wouldn't care. Because
the option would be nice, but I wouldn't buy it. But yeah.
I got LTE on my watch only because I was like, oh, maybe I'll have time, and I barely used it. But like I've used it like maybe once or twice since I've gotten my Series 7. So I personally don't have a big deal with it because I realize how I always have my phone on me. Like, there's never really a time that I don't have it on me.
Yeah,
and
that's how I am.
Connected to Wi-Fi, which they
doing workouts. I don't like taking my phone. I don't like a phone with me. I don't know if I'm at the gym. I don't want to keep up with no phone or nothing like that. So I would just literally leave it in the car and go work out and listen to my buds. Spotify.
That was exactly the reason why I bought mine, and I just haven't done that.
Who thought of that?
I was like, it's my fault. It's my fault. Well, yeah, I don't want the phone by me.
I mean, it's a use case for it, but it's not like groundbreaking. But I don't see myself buying a watch without LTE. If they don't have one, I'm gonna have to just suffer. But other than that, because like I say, I don't like when I go to the track and I walk the track or run the track or whatever. I do not like to have a phone in my hand. And then I also put the little arm strap for it, and I don't even want it on my arm either. Like I don't want to slip my phone in there either. Yeah, exactly. I just want to just chill and just go run or walk or whatever I do and listen to my music. So it's convenient. So that's the best I can say. LTE is a must.
So what about tablets? Do you guys need LTE on your tablets or laptops?
Nah.
No.
Yeah, me too again.
Just use my phone.
I feel you.
I need data on everything.
The only downside to my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus is not having LTE on this one, but my S7 has LTE. And then when I bought the iPad, I bought LTE on it. And then I'm pissed off because I kind of been taking my iPad with me everywhere, but I want to take my Galaxy tablet. But I'm like, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then I know people are like, well, I'll just hotspot my phone, but I don't want to use my phone, kill my phone battery to get on my tablet. I just want to open my tablet and start working. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just
So
me.
Travis, are you a tablet guy?
Oh yeah, I have been for a long time. Mostly, well, now I have a couple of iPads. I think what I used to do was I used to have an Android phone and an iPad, and then for a while I was trying different Android tablets. And Android tablets they're a mixed bag. I think Samsung makes some of the most spectacular Android tablets out there. They're just the quality is really amazing, and the features they're doing are really cool. And then the slope after that it dips off hard. It's like Samsung, and then everything's like, bro, you might want to use it in the bathroom when you're on the toilet, but other than that, you're probably not going to use it. And you know, I like them for various reasons. I do still edit all my videos on my iPad Pro. Like I like that. But
LumaFusion.
Yeah, LumaFusion. I love LumaFusion.
Yeah.
Which still hasn't come to the Tab
use.
S8, which they've been saying is supposed to be coming. And how long has it been since launch now?
Well, there you go. That's the other thing, right? So I'm sure it'll come at some point. Actually, they're local to me. Really great team over there. But yeah, I like to have one also nearby in the living room if you're watching TV, instead of picking up my phone, which is much smaller, like an iPad or an iPad mini, just when something comes up or commercials or whatever the heck, and I just want to real quick do some things. I like to have my tablet there. I like to just have my phone elsewhere, unless I'm going somewhere, if possible.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty heavy use case then.
Oh yeah, I'm tablet all day. Even with my phone, I got a tech bag that I carry. My tablet's in there. When I get stationary somewhere, my phone gets put in the bag, and my tablet comes out the bag. That's me all day long. And even when I'm at home, like he said, my TV is for playing my PlayStation and Xbox and my Switch. My TV is not even used for viewing. I watch movies on my tablet. I walk around this house with a tablet. I be like in the commercials, man. That's me for real. Like, oh my bad, I hit the mic. But yeah, I be walking around in the commercials like they advertise. That is me all day long.
Actually, Travis, how do you manage your files on the iPad? Because like, obviously video files.
It's so
like
bad. I can't stand
like,
it.
how do you do it like on the iPad, especially?
So the thing is, to be honest, like this is kind of weird because I have the 12 Pro with all the things and whatever, but I don't use it for anything other than editing. And what I'm considering doing, I use my iPad mini for other things. Like that's in the other room. This is just, I consider this to be like my work device, so I don't want to do anything with it that might ruin it in any way. It doesn't leave this room, stays in here, all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's not ideal, but it's good enough. So what I do, I do way too much now for my video. I'll shoot it and I'll record the audio separate. I bounce that to the iMac, which I'm on now. I'll use Final Cut and merge the audio and video. I'll do some very, very, very short editing. I just make it smaller, kick it out, airdrop it to my iPad, and then I'll do all my iPad things. And then I'll drop it back to my iMac to upload. Not ideal, but it just works.
So you use multiple NLEs.
To answer your question, I keep it all in the photo section because anything beyond that, it's terrible.
Does LumaFusion allow you to use an external SSD and have your files on?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. I have
that'll come in clutch.
Actually, this was given to me a while back. This is a 1 terabyte SSD, so I'm just going to start throwing everything on here, and then putting it and just recording and editing off of this.
So that means like I have the 128 gig iPad. I can just use an external SSD and just edit off there if I wanted to, without like touching the storage of my iPad.
Yep.
All right. iPad storage is way too expensive.
Hold on, get this though. Imagine shooting your video and taking your SD card out of your camera and putting an adapter up here and plugging it in, just transfer, and then you can start editing. Just
I used to do that. I used to do that on my iPad.
Yeah,
but I stopped doing it.
Well, how do you do that? Because that's what I tried to do.
I'll show you.
Because the only thing when I
stopped doing it, but here's what I used to use is this.
Okay, mine's over there.
But now I don't do that because I sync audio now, and it's easier to do that in Final Cut than it is Luma. Unless Luma started doing that.
I tried to grab.
Does Luma have a way to sync audio like how Final Cut does?
Not yet.
No, not yet. But I can see them doing it.
Multicam now in some way, but yeah, not yet. Yeah, kind of crazy.
They do. Because I need to look at some tutorials.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I use LumaFusion. Is there like a reason why you like prefer using your iPad over your MacBook in terms of editing?
The story goes that I was actually converted by Jonathan Morrison to do that. So when I was back in 2018, when I was visiting Jonathan Morrison, I was editing on a PC at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, you could edit on your iPad. I'm like, what? Why? How and why? And while I was there, that same day is when the iPad Pro 2018 came out. So the good one first. And he goes, look, I'll show you. And he put it on there. I'm like, this is interesting. And then I realized that touch for me is the ultimate edit.
That's exactly why I use
especially
Luma
with photo editing.
Of,
I think Delvon would agree to that.
Edit. Yeah. And if you could get about touch to even like a regular, like touch to me is just the ultimate edit. And I can't get away from that. I would rather learn Final Cut, but as soon as I do that, and now I feel like I'm disconnected with the mouse, because with LumaFusion, I'm touching the timeline. I'm right there. With the mouse, I feel like I'm one step back. So yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why I use an iPad to edit everything.
That's why I love using the Surface Laptop Studio.
I was about to say that. That's why I like Surface laptops more
I've
than
always loved them.
MacBooks because of that. That is the experience.
I switched to a MacBook Air because I went from a Surface Pro to a MacBook Air, and I'm like, man, I can't. It's still I can't. And then Microsoft sent out the Laptop Studio, and I instantly went to the Laptop Studio, even though it has shortcomings. Yeah. I have not wanted to switch back to my MacBook Air just because I use it like in the tablet mode type feel.
Yeah,
and I like using the touch screen. Like you don't use the touch screen.
People will argue all day long to us, because we like that experience, right? They will argue all day to us. The MacBooks are more powerful. It does this, it does that, and then they will give us solutions, right? They're like, well, you can get your iPad and you can use your iPad, do this, or you can buy a graphics tablet and you can do. I'm like, why can't I just buy this laptop and just put the pin up there and just go?
That's why I wish, like, man, they had like the M1 Pro, whatever, in the Surface laptop. Like the thing that limits this Surface laptop is the processor and the amount of heat it generates. All that. That's and the battery life. If it didn't have that issue, it would be. I mean, except for the ports, it would be like the perfect laptop for me because I like that I can move and pivot the screen every which way I want.
Yeah.
And it's just one thing I miss when I switch to MacBooks. I'm like, I like being able to go and touch the screen when I want to just touch it. I don't want to be limited to a trackpad, no matter how big the trackpad is.
Yeah. So I got my first MacBook like around a year ago. Because like the job that I was working at the time required that I had a MacBook, and I had an iPad before that. I touched my MacBook screen so many times because I had never experienced Mac OS before. I touched that thing so many times just because it's like so similar to iPad OS. I touched it like at least like 20 times a day for a solid month. It was just hilarious.
Just look at people's MacBooks. There's always fingers all over the fingerprints all over the screen.
Yeah,
I had a MacBook and my fiance be using it, right? Every time I get it, I got to clean the fingerprints off. She's always trying to touch it all the time. So
I think that says a lot. Like, why isn't Apple making their laptops touchscreen?
Everybody keeps saying because they're gonna cripple the iPad and blah 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 blah.
No, like the main thing people say is, it's not built for touch. I don't want it. I just want to use it to scroll. Like I didn't touching like a small tiny thing.
Yeah.
They had a touchscreen on Windows Vista. That was not a good operating system in terms of touch.
It wasn't, but they still had it, and I still can do it.
Have you tried Sidecar, Travis? I know everyone else here has. We talked about it before.
I did. I used the universal control thing the other day, which is kind of cool. I want to be able to figure the problem with universal. So the way I would use universal control is to drag a file from my iMac to my iPad and back, but there doesn't appear to be like this is how much longer you have to wait for this file to go.
Yeah,
what's happening?
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, Delvan had that issue yesterday.
I did. I talked about it because I was actually trying to transfer 128 gigs of 4K footage and edit. I know. Hey, look. They said it ain't no limit. Everybody keeps talking about how fast it is. Look, I'm just saying what everybody's saying. All right. So I put it to the test. Right. I put that jank up there, and I waited about 5 minutes. Man, that thing moved like a slit. And I took a screenshot of it. Like, okay, I am not going to make it out of this house with this.
Wait. Is it also like re-encoding the footage? Because sometimes it does that before it transfers it. Like re-encodes it.
It don't tell you what's going. It don't
Right.
tell you nothing. It just shows a circle, and then the slit was like blue. That means that's how much it transferred over.
I know. Yeah.
What you really want is to be able to do USB-C across, and then just have that speed. And I think there is a way to do that. I was looking it up. It's just not super easy. Like, it's all weirdly, because if you plug
you have to have like an intermediary device like an SSD and then like do it.
No, it's a setting you have to go to. If you plug your iPad Pro into your Windows PC, it just comes up as a folder, and you just do what you do. Like, it's easy, right?
Yeah,
it's not exactly the same thing on Mac OS. It's kind of this extra step, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, even when I try to do that, I try to plug it up because somebody told me to do Type C to Type C. So I plugged it up Type C to Type C, and then it popped up like a old version of newer version of iTunes, and then I have to like sync it. So I'm still syncing it. I'm not dropping and dragging. So I was just like, oh my god, how can I get this over here? And I was trying to get photos up there, and I was trying to get video up there. I was like, this is not going to work. It's going to take way longer. Then they say AirDrop. I tried AirDrop, 128 gigs. 4K. It was too much. It failed on me twice. I literally started it an hour before I had to leave the house. And I was like, okay, maybe it'll be done, right? I came back in here and that jank was failed. I was so mad because I had to leave it out in like 15 minutes. So I was like, I guess I'm not going to be editing on my iPad.
Is that when you use a Your Phone app, even though it has little bugs, when you transfer files between like an Android phone and your Windows PC, it gives you an actual thing on how fast it's transferring.
It's it gives you like the Windows file
pretty much
progress.
like the Windows, its own version of it. And I still think your phone has a little bit of bugs, but I like using it better than a MacBook and an iPhone. Sorry.
Isn't it crazy how we're complaining about like the most like basic fundamental parts of an operating system for the iPad? Like that, it seems crazy to me. Like that.
The Mac works that way. Why can't your iPad work that way? I don't get it. Like their file system when it comes to this is so crazy. That's why I cannot work off an iPad. It just
tell me why.
Travis, man, kudos to you, man, with the workarounds, man. I don't know if I could do that, man.
Major respect.
The one best thing I'll admit about the iPad that my Galaxy tablet don't do, if I take my footage from my Canon camera and I plug my SD card in here, not video, but like photos, it will show up all the RAWs up here, and I could import it over, and that's fine. With the Galaxy tablet, it won't import it. It won't even pop up or nothing. But it's connected in the file system, and then I got to go to it and just put it onto the tablet wherever I want to put it at, and it works just like a computer. But I can't see a preview. That's the biggest issue. I cannot see a preview, so I can pick which photo I actually want to edit. But on the iPad, I can. So that's so like weird. Yeah. So like both photos are not that great, but at least with the Galaxy tablet, it's a regular file system. Is easy getting it on and off. But
for me, I mean, I just did like grad photos. I had some raw photos. It actually showed up for me, but I didn't. I mean, I was just looking it off of.
Are you using Sony?
I use a Sony, yeah.
See, it might be the CR3 files. I have no clue.
I don't know. It worked for me. I also like I'm not doing as much as you do. I literally pulled off my ZV-1. And it came
so
up
the
as,
Sony raw files you can preview, I'm pretty sure, on just in the iPad OS.
For me, it allowed me to preview. Now, did it show me like actually as a raw file? Not really, but it had raw image. It said raw on top of the image in the top right, and I was like, yeah. But I mean, I use a Tab S7 Plus. I just also say, why the hell does none of these? Why does a Surface Pro have 3 ports on the whole tablet? And every iPad and Tab S7 or whatever has 1. I will never understand this. Bro. They always say Pro this, Pro that. I can't even plug in a.
Yeah, they need at least 2.
You need 2, 1 on each side. I know that for iPads you have the keyboard that has the USB-C port on the keyboard and all that, but that should be built in onto the iPad itself.
At least the Pro. At least the Pro.
At least the Pro. I feel like for the Tab S7, it should be that way because I look at the Surface Pro 8. Has 2 USB-C ports, a kickstand, a micro SD card. So I don't know.
Everything you need.
Everything.
Yes. Yep. Everything you need.
I feel like we're gonna see it in the Galaxy Tabs eventually, at least in like the Ultra version, especially since they have such a close relationship with
redesign the
Windows
Tab
and
S7
Intel.
and Plus. I hope they because it's been 3 generations now. It's been almost exactly the same design. Like.
I mean, I can't even see what they would do. What would you want?
Kickstand.
Kickstand.
I'm with you. Say no more.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for a while.
I've been saying.
I mean, like I use the Surface Pro. The kickstand is like it comes in clutch every single time. Like I can't understate like how good having a kickstand is, because I don't have to have like another case on the thing just to prop it up by itself.
Yeah.
To me, the Surface has the smoothest hinges on anything I've ever used, and my Surface Pro has not worn away in terms of like the resistance for the hinge, and I use that for 3 years straight. Like,
I agree. I'll give it to Samsung a little bit though for at least trying to create a case that does it like this.
Yeah, it should be integrated to me.
But I feel you. I feel you on that. But at least we have this. But I definitely want to integrate it into it. So I agree.
Okay, so the next thing we're gonna talk about that leaked.
They look so good.
Is the new Sony XM5s. First off, I keep asking Travis because he's like the least fanboy person like you'll ever meet. Like on his channel, he doesn't like really highlight anything like consistently. It's just like that type of YouTube channel. But are you a headphone user? What type of headphones do you use? If you,
I mean, the biggest growth of my channel was when I was reviewing headphones for a year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, yeah, 100%. I had to get rid of a bunch of them because I had so many of them at one point, and I just got the 4s a couple months ago when I went to LA, and they're really great. Well, I actually it was between them and the Bose QC like 45s or whatever. I've always really liked the Sonys, and this looks great, except I don't see buttons, which worries me, because the one thing that I've always hated about headphones like this is when they want you to like touch stuff and do that. To me, that's just never worked well. Like, it can work, but it's not the quick fix for I need to hit pause, I need to play, I need to, it just like doing this and doing that, and when it doesn't work is the most annoying thing in the world. So
I agree with that.
The way they look, though.
I actually got my my Sony Touch part of the ones I got now, because I got the M3s. I got it disabled literally right now, and I never use it. I just use my phone because, like you say, it's tough.
I don't use my Sony XM4 touch pan. I hate them. Yeah, and you know, one thing I also had an issue with was connecting 2 different devices to the Sonys. They are not very good for me between disconnecting and going to the other device. And then for calls and stuff on my iPhone, it never automatically puts it to the Bluetooth on my iPhone. It always goes to like, it gets in this like weird limbo stage. I have to go back to my phone and then click Bluetooth for the Sonys. I find them okay. I'm not super blown away by the Sony like XM4s after I've been using them. These just look like Jabra headphones to me now. Like over-ear Jabra headphones. If you guys remember, they had
I didn't like the design change at all. I think that's like too small. The headband is like way too small for me anyway.
Oh, I just noticed that. Yeah,
I don't like that's the major change. I don't like it.
I do like the overall design though. It looks very like, I don't know what the word is. Just like I like the way it looks. It almost like some people have been saying that it looks like they took a bit of an AirPods Max approach, but I don't see exactly what they mean by that. Yeah. But I do wish they had the buttons, because the one thing that, as much as the AirPods Max has its issues, the buttons are like, like the buttons on headphones need like actual tactile buttons.
They do.
None of that like swipey crap. Like,
and the only reason why I say that connection issue is that my OnePlus Buds Pro work better with 2 devices than the Sonys I have right now. Like, those OnePlus Buds work better than my AirPod Pros, work better than any pair of headphones I've used. And I go back to my Sony ones and I'm like, I get why people like them, but I think the build quality could be better. They feel super light. I mean, you want super light headphones, but they almost feel too light. The sound quality is good. It's not anything that blew my mind away. And you know what? I don't know if it's just me. The noise cancellation isn't as strong as I thought they would be.
I mean, my thoughts, I only got the M3s, and I don't connect it to multiple devices. But with my iPhone, like you said, I do have problems with my iPhone. But with my Galaxy and my Pixel, I have never had connection issues.
Those are great.
If I got them connected to my Galaxy phone and I turn the headphones on, it automatically connects, no problem.
Yeah.
And it connects to one device, so I'm not really mad about that when it comes to Android to Android. But when it comes to me switching it back to my iPhone, it's a problem because I got to pair it. But with the it got the NFC, so with the Android, I can just tap like that and it's connected already. with the iPhone, I got to go through the whole process. So I just don't really connect them to the iPhone Plus. I just use these with it now, anyways. So it don't really matter.
I mean, I don't have problems connecting to Sony's. It's just like when I do 2 devices, it just gets all jumbled up.
Yeah,
like,
see, I haven't had that because mine only connect to one. So maybe I'll get a different experience. Maybe if I get the 5.
And I thought it was an Apple thing, but then I used the OnePlus Buds Pro and it never had that issue. Like it was seamless. It made my AirPod Pros look stupid. Like it was. I was like, wow, this is actually really nice.
Yeah. Well, it was their first time getting into it, so maybe the 5s they do better. I don't know. But they are talking about increased battery life, and I'm pretty sure sound quality is going to be great, just like all the rest of them.
Yeah, they said a new like dedicated ANC chip as well.
I hope so. Because
do you reckon the price is going to remain the same though as the XM?
I think so. And I think they're priced perfectly too. I don't really have a problem because even after that $379 or whatever, that thing dropped about $50 soon, and
they're always on sale for $100.
Always.
I mean, like the XM4s are going to be a great deal once the XM5s come out. It's going to be a steal.
I don't know why though, but when I bought those XM4s, as soon as I did, I took them onto I went to the bus to go to my college. I thought I was tripping out by how little it was actually. Like it blocked out the sound, but not to the point. I was like, people were like, "Oh, the Sony's block out so much sound." I'm like, this doesn't sound right. I took my AirPod Pros out, put my AirPod Pros in, like another 5 whatever like decibels like just cut out. So the Sony ones, I took the Sony ones on the plane. I did the same thing. They're very consistent with the noise cancellation. But I didn't think they were that strong.
The strength,
my AirPods Pro, and I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, in my situation, man, I feel like I need to hear like the best noise cancellation in the world, like per se, for I can, because I don't really know what I'm supposed to hear. Like my AirPods Max sound great. It blocks out sound. My Sony sound block out sound. My Buds Pro sound good. My AirPods Pro sound good. I mean, I don't know the difference. I just know that when people talk to me, I still hear them. I don't want that, but I know it don't block out voices. But sound, as far as sounds, it does a good job. And I guess because I'm never in a noisy environment, so maybe that's how I got to go test it. Maybe
that's how I found out. Like I took it on the plane and the bus, and I instantly knew. Like I was like, the Sony's like, these aren't as strong, because I remember I'll be sitting in the bus, I can have nothing playing, and I'll just like, oh, I can barely hear it. But like the Sony's, I could just like. I can hear that like low rumble, and it's not voices. It was just like what I would consider noise cancellation to get rid of.
Yeah.
So, quick question: do you guys see? I just made a tweet about this today. Do you guys see Google and Samsung coming out with over-the-ear headphones in like the next year or two?
I don't.
I mean, Samsung sells some on their website, but that's not theirs. I think it's AKG.
It's AKG.
But I could see Sony not like. I mean Sony. I could see Samsung doing it before Google, but I don't know about it. I don't know if that's their focus right now. But I can see them doing it first.
I feel like the whole thing is just like, I don't know. I feel like phone manufacturers love just the earbuds part, because it's like, oh, look how portable it is, truly wireless.
Yeah, I think that's a big.
And if they do it, they're just following Apple anyway. Because I mean, they don't really have to. We want them to, but they don't have to. That's
like, who would have thought Apple would do it though? Like before last year,
they came out with the sport version of the Pros Mac, like the
like a non-metal version of it.
Yeah, like a non-metal version.
Yeah.
Wait, like, you can't work out in these. Like
I see people working out in them all the time, Ramal. It's actually insane. I go to my school gym.
Status. They doing it for status.
I look at them. I know for a fact
they must be going through like 5 of them a year if they're working out in the. Like how do they like
time thing? I've seen like 2 or 3 other times. I'm like, y'all are really like, y'all are something else. Huh? Y'all really.
They have money.
So, I wouldn't even dare.
No. Too many times.
Okay, so
I tried it once, never again. Yeah,
I'm gonna bring up one last article. This is gonna be an interesting one. The iPhone 14 and 14 Pro. They say there's going to be a big camera difference. So the 14 is only supposed to have the 12 megapixel main sensor, and then the new 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, or however they name it later on.
See, this is the funniest thing. Why would anyone buy the 14 Max when the 13 Pro Max is going to be like essentially like the better phone with the same chip, better cameras, better screen? It's going to be cheaper. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry to derail, but like, there's something I've been always thinking about with all these like leaks and rumors. Like, why would you not buy a 13 Pro Max over a 14 Max?
Well, think about it. It's probably not going to be sold by Apple. Like, they just discontinue those.
But like
right after.
I mean, like for that reason, yes. But for any other reason, like if someone's going to buy a phone outright, like it makes 0 sense.
How do you guys feel about the design, like the new notch and
I can care less.
2-part notch or whatever it is?
I wish it was
Whole
one
bunch.
big pill, but honestly,
Yes.
the notch, I was never like too against the notch, but like after using an iPhone the past 2 years, I could care less. I mean, I also say with the Galaxy, I'm like, I don't get the point of the little sliver of screen on top of the hole punch. I like, it's not doing anything different. I just now notice there's a hole in this in the picture. So like, I'd rather just, I'm not crazy. I'm not like anything about it. I think it's fine. I just think I'd rather have under display before anything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree
like,
with
I
that.
just wish it wasn't an eye. I just wish it was just one big pill.
That's
the
the
same with
yeah.
Miles. Yeah, like why make it that distinct? Like everyone knows it's an iPhone from the front. You don't have to have like the little eye on the little
Just keep something
eyelid pill.
First the speaker holes, now the non-symmetrical hole in the screen.
Yeah, no, can't deal with it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's all I had for today's stream. I'm gonna wrap this up now. Appreciate all my guests for joining. Had a really good conversation again. Always nice to have you guys in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Man, really
I
appreciate
was
it.
hoping to talk about one last thing, but I'm just gonna throw it in real quick. I mean, the Pixel 6a.
I did. I skipped over that. Someone did make a 6A comment earlier.
I was just gonna say because I have a feeling that it might be in the hands soon. I'm not sure yet, but I hope so. I think if they price it right, it might be the catalyst a little bit for Google with Samsung. I hope in the American market, but we'll
Yeah.
have to wait
You
and
think
see.
so?
I mean, they're definitely gonna have to price it right. I mean, 600 for the Pixel 6, they're gonna undercut
already
that.
great.
You know, yeah,
It's gonna
that's
be
already a
at the
good deal.
$399
And you know what's
tops.
crazy?
$399 tops.
When I went to South by Southwest, I've never seen so many different Pixel 6 devices. Like I couldn't talk about it at the time, but like everywhere I went, like the airport, the transit and stuff, I always saw a person with a Pixel, and I'm like, that's so weird. I've never seen
It
that
is.
before.
I said the same thing. I said I've seen more people with Pixels this year than I ever seen in my whole entire life of living, bro.
Wow.
Like Google advertisement is actually working.
And it's mostly the Pixel 6. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not the Pro. I've been seeing
Because
so
it's
many
cheap.
with the Pixel
It's
6.
cheap. They walk in
Yeah,
that
it's
carrier,
cheap.
they say this phone 600.
And
They're like, yeah.
I think about it for a second. I'm like, people always ask me, where can I get a mid-ranger for like cheap? And I'm like, the Pixel 6a is looking like that phone compared to Samsung. It's just looking like a better version of what Samsung just isn't offering to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of specs, what do we know so far? 6.2 inches, and then
90 hertz display, just like the 6.
Is
is it going to be the old cameras
Yes.
and
And an
processors?
8 megapixel front-facing camera, same as the Pixel 6.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
front
and
facing
what-
camera, that one isn't very good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
need
very
to
good.
It's probably going to be plastic, though. That's the only.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
I don't think
That's
it's
not
a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Have we heard anything about a processor yet?
I
think it's just Tensor.
They said Tensor.
Probably
That's what I
Tensor,
heard.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
going to be good then. Tensor.
I
I mean, that's a great
think
approach.
Sony-
Like the same chip across all the different phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but the only thing I bring up this is totally out of the blue. The Pixel 6a looks amazing. The OnePlus Ace also looks like it would have been an amazing phone if they actually launched in America, but no.
The OnePlus Ace is actually it's also the OnePlus 10R. It's like two different models.
that
Yeah.
phone looks amazing.
Sorry,
for
two names, same model.
Starts at $380 US when you convert it.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, man, that phone looks better than the OnePlus 10 Pro. I don't care if the cameras might be slightly
It does,
worse.
yeah.
It has 8100 processor max, whatever. I think from
Dimensity.
Dimensity and 150 watt charging. All 120
150
hertz OLED display with
150 watts. God damn.
It's it's literally the best. And you know I think it was a Dimensity chip. That Dimensity chip is more powerful than the 8th Gen one right now. That's the one they put in there. Is that or am I wrong?
Wait, is it actually?
Is
Oh,
it
really?
I don't think it's that one. It's not that one. I don't
It's
think
not
it's
that
the
one?
same one.
Can't be that one. Yeah.
I couldn't remember the specs of like the top end Dimensity chip. I think it was a 9000. I might be wrong. But
Yeah, it's a 10 of Dimensity right now.
I love how MediaTek's just like coming in out of left field with like all of this stuff in the chip game because Qualcomm has had their run for way too long. They need to push up the butt.
Yeah. I just can't wait. I think we're all pretty sure that it's coming out with Google I/O. I don't know. Because they haven't said anything to me, which is why I'm able to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm getting emails about
I'm
cases
like-
for it right now, so I feel like it's coming soon. I'm getting emails about cases like as of today. So
I hope.
yeah, we'll
I
see.
think I think if they can get into carriers and all that, Samsung would be like in the American market. I think Samsung might be like a little bit like, oh, okay, this is kind of turning into something, because we saw it with the Pixel 5a, like the pricing really like helped them gain some more sort of market share in America. And if they're able to say, we offer the flagship processor in our cheapest Google phone with the same processing in terms of camera, I mean, it's not the same camera sensor, but I think they have something to really talk about.
It's kind of like the iPhone SE approach, same processor, but like every other feature is just a little bit.
But everything is better. I mean, there's like a very big balance of like.
It's just going to take them a couple of years to catch up to sales to Samsung.
Yeah,
and Apple,
they're doing the top-down thing that we see in
they're
the car
doing,
manufacturers.
They have the hardware right now.
Yeah,
they bring the best features from the flagships down to the cheapest one, but also keep that flagship look, which I don't. Apple hasn't really done with the SE.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
So I really hope, and if they do it with metal, I'll be surprised. But you never know.
Never know.
Okay, you guys. So I gotta wrap this up now before I get in trouble with my girlfriend. So, again, I appreciate you guys for joining me. Always have a great conversation with you guys. Thanks for joining, Travis, for the first time. Saw you came in a few weeks ago. I appreciate that as well. So definitely had to invite you on the stream. Great conversation as always. And for all the people like still in the chat, thank you guys for joining too. And we're gonna end this now.
I'll talk to y'all later.
See you guys later.
See you guys later.